A custody battle over a murder suspect continues to brew tonight between the state of Arizona government and the federal government. And that battle made its way to federal court this afternoon as the Pima County attorney argues she and her team have been stonewalled. But the U.S. Attorney's Office sees it very differently. News 4 Tucson's political specialist Eric Fink was in that courtroom for the hearing today and joins us live downtown with the latest. Eric.
Sean, there was not a ruling from the U.S. District Judge today. We have been covering this case for nearly 3 months. Pima County Attorney Laura Conover going to court today to try to get access to a murder suspect, Julio Aguirre. He is also an undocumented immigrant. Now, he faces 3 separate federal charges for what authorities call a Midtown crime spree back on June 30th. That resulted in the murder of 69-year-old Tucsonan Ricky Miller. He is facing federal charges, but Conover says there are also other victims in this case, and she and her team want to bring a state prosecution. And she says that those other victims are being ignored. So earlier today, Conover and her team brought this case in front of U.S. District Judge Rosemary Marquez. First, Conover says she was shocked back in early July when federal authorities took Aguirre from a Tucson hospital to a federal holding facility in Florence without giving her office any notice. She says it's critical to gain access to Aguirre for the state prosecution to take place, and it's also critical to preserve some testimony from elderly victims before their memory fades. Judge Marquez says she's never heard of something like this happening before, a situation where federal prosecutors won't give the state access to a defendant to start a case. Conover says they can begin proceedings by Zoom, and Aguirre doesn't have to leave federal custody. But federal prosecutors say giving the state access to Aguirre right now will harm the United States case. Conover says there's been no cooperation from the U.S. Attorney, Timothy Courchain, or his team. So that's why she wants a federal judge to intervene here.
To get Mr. Aguirre initialed and arraigned, his first initial hearing, so that we could take critical testimony from a 76 and 79-year-old couple who are victims on our state case, but who are completely ignored along with 4 other victims, completely ignored in the federal indictment.
And Conover says she feels very confident coming out of that hearing. We will wait for the ruling from Judge Rosemary Marquez in the coming days or weeks. I reached out to a spokesperson for the U.S. Attorney to try to get a statement from their side. They say they won't comment because this litigation is ongoing. Stay tuned. Live downtown tonight, I'm Eric Fink, News 4 Tucson.